go to Tachanka and just tie up that loose end really quick because we're already here. And remember, chat, no spoilers. Let's just go Morden and Grunt. I just want to go check on this guy really quick. Meanwhile, I'm in Mass Effect. Always fun to see how others' choices differ from my own. Yep. I like to hear the reasons why people choose what they do, which is what I try to bring to you guys every single time we do this, is not just what I'm going to do, but why did I do it? Hers. Pet the Varen. Pet the...
Good, Varen.
Hey, buddy. Yeah.
Stay.
Yeah.
Welcome, Erdnot Grunt. My name is Ratch. You and your Krant will find many items of interest in my store.
The human is my battle master.
Of course. There's not much here for humans, but you can take a look if you want.
What do you have in stock?
Most of it's food and drink that's toxic to humans. Rincol's a local favorite. Don't try to act tough, it'll tear your insides apart.
He's not joking. Rincall hits aliens like ground glass.
Otherwise, I've got weapons, scrap, and whatever food those pie jocks don't steal. Which isn't much. Take a look at my kiosk over there if you want to buy something.
What the hell is a piejack?
Off-world vermin. Humans say they're like monkeys. They come in and steal food, Rincall, whatever they can get their talons on. We started using the mounted defense cannons to stop them.
Oh.
I'm a good shot. Maybe I can help out with the piejacks.
Feel free. You can use the console out there to control the guns. Make a dent in the piejack population, and you get a discount. Good luck with that.
I should go.
Suit yourself.
Hey, let's kill some piejacks for a discount, huh? A little population control? It's for a good cause, chat.
The pits have been a bloodbath ever since Urza's handler was... Let's see what the human can do.
Man, why would these things run here if these guns are gonna wipe out their... Let's go. Unstoppable. Your boy don't miss. Your boy don't miss. The best hijack killer in the galaxy. Seems like a waste of explosive ordnance, if you ask me. Like, that seems a little bit excessive. I hope this discount's fat. Your boy's wallet's a lot thinner in Mass Effect 2 than it was in Mass Effect 1. Woo! We are killing lots of monkeys. Things we do for discounts. Oh my god. 18? I can only miss twice. They're probably going to come out like 2 at a time too, I bet. We got this. We can do this, chat. This has got to be the last wave. There we go. A little twofer. Hijack killer extraordinaire, baby. Maybe in another life I was an exterminator. All right. Done.
Ignore them. They're not worth the effort. Should I ask the female clan for right of parentage?
What's up, Fit Up?
You don't want anything I sell, human. Greetings, human. My name is Ratch. Have a look at what I've got.
I should go.
Suit yourself.
Hijack meat. Fresh new hijack meat is a favorite of Varen everywhere. Sure, it's free. All right. Heavy weapon ammo. Yes.
This might be useful.
Stabilization gauntlets. Yeah, we'll pick those up. Death mask. Develop. Increases negotiation bonus by 10%. I don't really need that. Asymmetric defense layer. Increases health by 5%. Shield harness. A series of ultra efficient storage cells. Increases shields by 5%. Yeah. Phalanx heavy pistol. Oh yeah, this thing's freaking awesome. Buy that. That's not that expensive. Buy it. Death mask. Okay, so that's done. Let's go find that guy that we saved, and then we'll get off into Chanka.
I survived the mod during my reign. Guess that human's got a quad. Plates to try.
Ambassador, Shaman.
Then let's end this.
Where the hell is this guy?
Glad not grunts with us now. We're willing to consider new directions. That's what makes man us strong.
Have I passed by him and just not seen it?
This Varen can track you anywhere on the planet. Don't touch anything. A human killed the Thresher on foot.
Because there was a guy last night that we found in a cell, and we told him to run back to camp. And he did.
Give me a reason.
And I don't see him.
Were you around when the female?
Return to the merchant and inform him the number of hijacks are dead. God damn it. So I bought all that stuff without the discount that I literally killed all those hijacks for.
Seeing those vermin roasting in the heat from
It was a lot of fun.
I'll give you a discount at my store.
I should go.
Suit yourself.
All right, cool. Bought everything full price. That's fun.
Here, try this.
He did say he was going back to the female, so I'm confused because I have a quest for it.
Looks like Ur's finally found someone to follow around.
Oh, little Varen. Hey, buddy. Okay. Because, yeah, my journal says missing scout. Tell the chief scout. Oh, talk to the chief scout. Talk to the chief scout. Not find him.
5 years from the right.
All right, we got a puppy. Come on. Is this the chief scout? Oh, the chief scout's the guy over here. Jeez, chat. I gotta read, man. I gotta learn how to do that. I'm not good at reading.
Good for you.
Causes problems, you know?
Step back. My Varen is hungry.
Yeah, we have a puppy now.
My scout made it back. We've got him at the tent. Doesn't remember much beyond getting tortured, but he remembers you. Said you yelled at him until he got his hump out of that basin back here. You've got a quad, human.
Yeah, I do.
Thanks for saving my scout. Saves me having to train another one.
Talk to you later.
One wrong step.
Okay. No. One of the dreams I had years ago was Matt and I in nature together, feeling the security that comes from the commitment. He'd sacrifice his life for mine if he had to. It was a normal feeling, right? Sure. Yeah. I think a lot of times when people are in meaningful relationships like that, that can be part of it. And whether it's normal or not doesn't really matter, D. It's how you felt.
And show those Torians who's boss.
All right, let's get out of here. Alrighty.
I'm surprised by Thane's spiritual side. His psych profile mentioned little of it, and he carries himself with such cold confidence. I'm not sure if I find him scary or sexy.
She says so much weird stuff, man. You're HR. You're not supposed to be saying this stuff. This chick's thirsty, man. Like, she's thirsty.
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else?
Other than you're thirsty.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Jeez. I don't know how I feel about having HR in horny jail. I think Kelly needs to order a Sorry 26 True Blue like the rest of the ship has. I agree, Skog. I absolutely agree with that. She's thirsty, but 16-year-old DeWord loved her. Oh, man. I love it. I know, it's like 17-year-old me loved Ashley, man. I was thirsty for Ashley. Durak. The Durak is a small heat-blasted rock lost in the blinding glare of the star Arak, and occasionally traps a trace atmosphere of gases blown in on Aralek's powerful solar wind, which inevitably blows the gases back out again. The planetoid has a few valuable loads of heavy metals, which were sporadically mined by the Krogan at the height of their power. In the closing years of the rebellions, the 5 clans working the planetoid fell to fighting over a particularly rich deposit of iridium. All 5 clan warlords agreed to a crush, a meeting at a neutral location, to negotiate a truce. Unfortunately, all 5 arrived planning to betray their fellows. While the leaders and their seconds met, all their bases were destroyed by simultaneous hypervelocity cannon strikes. Left with only food, water, and air in their hard suits, and with no way to call for rescue, the warlords apparently fought each other to the death. The survivors of the 5 Durak clans on Tachanka still argue about which clan's warlord was the last one standing. God. Reading these has been hard for me lately. I don't really know why. Twist over my words. Mind this real quick. We are real low on resources. Is it possible to develop social anxiety over time? Yes, it is.
Launching probe. Probe away. Launching probe. Probe away.
Alright. It's funny how your viewpoint changes. I agree, Ed. I think one of the cool things about playing this for the, 10th time at this stage in my life is, there's a lot of scenarios that have happened in these games that I now look at a lot differently than I did back in the day when I played this the first time. Or the first, 9 times. Just interesting how if you can play, you play this game as many times as I have, and then you play it at a different part in your life, and you start really reading things differently than I used to. Really neat. It just sort of speaks to the depth of what BioWare was able to create. All right, plot mass relay jump. Let's go knock Jacob out. Yeah, no, we're not going to kill him. We're going to go
Anomaly detected.
anomaly detected. Joab is a two-mooned habitable planet that is well known for its mass extinction event. Thousands of years ago, Job, I guess, was home to a primate-like spacefaring civilization as well as abundant flora and fauna. However, this can only be deduced from the time capsules put into the ground well outside habitation centers. All cities and detachable dwellings were targeted in a massive orbital bombardment that turned them into vapor. The resulting dust shroud killed all photosynthetic life and all fauna dependent on it. Today, humans have recolonized the planet and are rapidly introducing their own species, beginning with the cyanobacteria and the heterotrophic bacteria to bring a suitable level of oxygen and nitrogen for respiration. Travel advisory. Atmospheric pressure at sea level on Job is double that of Earth. Visitors with upper respiratory infections, emphysema, cancer, or a history of thoracic surgery should consult their physician before landing on Job. Reminds me of how my friend and I were rewatching some of the anime we had as kids and noticed how scenes hit different when we're 30 versus 12, 15, or 18, right?
Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second
Probe
patrol,
launched.
looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors.
Probe
Bastards
launched.
didn't know what hit him.
Something on our sensors.
Anomaly detected. Mercenary activity detected on planet surface. Communications match Blue Sun's encoding protocols. Possible location for rumored site of illegal archaeological activity. Blue Sun's intentions unknown. What do you think, chat? Should we go check it out? Go see what we got down here. Let's go, Morden. We got Blue Suns. How about what do you say? What do you say? Maybe we go with Zaid, huh? He's not a big fan of the Blue Suns. We haven't taken Zaid in a while. Yeah, I want to take Zaid. Mercenary Warlord. Disruptor ammo could be helpful. And we'll go Neural Shock for Morden. And we're going to switch hand cannons. To the Phalanx Heavy Pistol. Thing's awesome. All right, back. Exit. Kai, it's dicey. I think it's important to, make children eat healthy, but if they're like absolutely miserable to the point that you're like torturing them, that's not great. My parents didn't force me to eat vegetables, and as a result, I don't eat vegetables, and it's not great. Like, it took me a long time to come around and eat it. And honestly, had my parents maybe, forced me to be a little bit uncomfortable and maybe tried them or recognized that, like, sometimes you got to eat stuff you might not like too much, I don't think there would have been too much. I don't think that would have been horrible, but it's dicey. There's no, like, not necessarily like a hard and fast rule on that.
Got it.
All right, let's get to work. Damn it, Morden. Not having overload is not great here. Maybe this was not the best choice. Sounds like this is arc projector time. Maybe we should have had a bet here. You know, I keep forgetting to do that.
My shields are down.
Hit him, Zaid.
Take down.
Why are these guys here? What are you all doing here? All right. There we go. Morden was dead, yes. He's back now, though. We get some element 0. Good. Oh yeah, you know what, Shelbs? That actually brings up a point. Sometimes when kids are presented with something they don't like, one of the best ways that you can get them through it is to offer them the choice. Do you want to eat the broccoli or the carrots? Sometimes that's enough for them to be like you got to eat one of them. So do you want the broccoli or carrots? If they feel like they have a choice in that, sometimes it'll make them a little bit more likely to eat it. Really, that can come down to a lot of things, right? Do you want to do your laundry or do you want to do the dishes? Which one do you want to do? It gives them the illusion of choice. Rico, good to see you. Hey man, I have a pretty random question, but what do you think about shock journalism? Do you think the pros of greater acknowledgement outweigh the cons of misled options formed from unrecognized hyperbole and headlines? I don't know that I'm the guy for that one. I don't think shock journalism's... I don't think it's a good idea. No. Journalism tends to be written more for headlines and to get people emotionally aroused rather than to provide information. I don't think that's particularly useful.
Loud and clear.
All right, what do we got going on here? Boy, this is a terrible spot.
Burned nicely. Deploying incineration tech.
Oh boy.
My shields are down.
Neutralized.
Okay. Here's hoping more don't come out of that door to the left.
Impressive shot.
Woo! Let's go. Alrighty. Doing okay so far. Doing okay. What's in here? Coffee maker. How do I get the clap emote? You'll have to ask Shelbs. I don't think that's one of mine. I think it's somebody else's. Outgoing message. Request for aid. Commander Santiago, hope you're doing well. We require your services once again in the transport of ourselves, our equipment, and our recovered artifacts. I've dispatched our representative to meet with you regarding the details of the transaction. Given the sensitive nature of our cargo, we expect discretion in this matter. Dr. Farron, Chief Researcher, Exogeny Special Projects. Hey, Santiago's the guy that Zaid hates. It's yours. Sean put it in for guitar streams. Oh, sweet. Dr. Farron, of course you can count on us to offer your escort of transportation. We have sent men and ships your way in good faith. Commander Vito Santiago, Co-Executive Officer, Blue Suns. I wonder if he's here. That would be nuts if Vito Santiago is here. The Zaid's about to be pissed. Why am I not picking up these thermal clips? Okay. Gotta love the honey emote. It's great. Not a lot of great cover here. Taking fire.
Just the thing to help.
Okay.
Got it.
Indeed.
Come back here, fellas. I need your abilities, not your guns. And some of the strongest glass in the galaxy.
Flammable or inflammable. Forget which. Doesn't matter.
Come on, Shields. Come on, Shields. Come on, Shields. What is going on here? Okay, there we go.
Just burn through any armor.
Yeah, lost shields.
Lieutenant Locke is down. Cause he's a little bitch. Hey, I have a doctor appointment in the morning too, Spider. I hope yours goes well. Geo Goddess, thank you so much for the host. Oh man, you did that 30 minutes ago and I don't think I acknowledged that. Thank you. If you're still here, Geo Goddess, thank you so much for bringing people my way. You think it's weird that I got sick in Christmas 3 times in a row before going stateside? I don't know. It's an interesting pattern, but weird, I guess. I don't know. Depends on how you define weird. Lieutenant Locke, once the artifact is secured and in transit, your orders are to take your men and rendezvous with Captain Vorhis aboard the MSV Strontium Mule in the Arin Larkin system in the Omega Nebula. Assist Vorhis with the capture if needed. To Commander Santiago. Recapture a derelict ship. This mission just took us on path for another mission. Prothean video log. Flashing light warning. All right, it's done. We saw collectors this time around. Recovered Prothean relic, eliminated Blue Sun's presence at dig site. All right. Do you have a favorite squad mates as characters and as combat allies? I've always liked Garrus. I do, well, yes, but I'm not going to fully answer that
Commander,
yet, Dolphin.
you've received a new message at your private terminal.
And if you've played the series, you know why I'm not answering that. I'm still catching up, watching your Mass Effect 1 playthrough. Wanted to say I appreciate your insight and theories into character behaviors. Adds a new dimension for me. I'm glad you enjoyed, Advocate. Thanks for stopping by to tell me that. All right, here we go. Blue Sun's activity traced from Cerberus Command. We did a little due diligence on this Lieutenant Locke and his rendezvous with Captain Voris. The coordinates we obtained as the last known location of the MSV Strontium Mule have been added to your galaxy map. Turns out that the Mule is carrying valuable cargo, including intel of a sensitive nature. We'd like you to go track down the Strontium Mule and recover that cargo. Please pass the information to us, and you can keep any other items of value you may find. Do what you will with the Blue Suns. It could happen to you. Elcos mail routing. A Drell lay in the ocean, dying from Kepral syndrome, and had a dream. In his dream, the Enkindlers came to him and charted the course of his life. The Drell saw the wakes and the eddies, and saw that sometimes the Enkindlers swam alongside him, limbs raking the water, while other times he was alone. The Drell saw that the times he was alone were the hardest times of his life. He asked the Enkindlers, why was this one abandoned? The Enkindlers answered, their light shining brightly, you were never abandoned. In those difficult times in your life, it was our bodies that bore you through the water. The Drell awoke and found his Kepral syndrome cured. If you follow the light of the Enkindlers, it can happen to you. Where the Enkindlers go, we shall follow, and where their light is the sun, we shall be the stars around them. Send this message to 6 beings of your acquaintance, and the greatest wish shall all come true. You heard him, chat. Share it. Enkindlers, man. They'll cure ya. Concerns, RE the Keepers. From Chorbin. I hope this address still works. I promised to send you intel on the Keepers if I found anything, and this is important. See, those scans you took? It turns out the Keepers are bioengineered, and based on my comparisons to some of that material from Saren's flagship Sovereign, they were engineered millions of years ago by the same people who made Sovereign. You may not understand how important this is, but it suggests that the Citadel wasn't really made by the Protheans. It may have been made by something far older, but the Keepers is organic guardians. And what's more, based on my genetic readings, they're supposed to react to something, some signal or something, about every 50,000 years. You can measure genetic variances. It's a bit like comparing rings on a tree to see the drought years. Whoever did this, well, around the last time this signal went off would be around the time the Protheans disappeared, and it's scheduled to go off sometime around now. If any of the old tech still works, they could have some nasty surprises waiting for us. Just thought you'd want to know. Nobody here on the Citadel will listen to me. Chorbin. Yeah, we're aware. we're definitely aware. But hey, thanks, Chorbin. From Erdnot Darg. Dear human, the clan leader told me how to get in touch with you. I don't remember much of what happened, but the chief scout said you pulled my quad out of the fire when I got caught and poisoned over at the Werlock camp. Thanks. Next time I have a chance to kill a human, I won't. Unless I go into Blood Rage or something. I got to go to the female camp after I recovered, and it was pretty good. I was actually thinking of joining the Blood Pack before this happened. I think I'm going to stay here instead. Erdnot Darg, Scout 2nd Class. Cool. Alright. Let's keep going. We explored that planet. Job is done. Let's go to this one. Laban. Laban is a desert world with sea upon sea of scorching hot iron oxide wearing away marbleized cliffs. Its atmosphere is thick and layered with significant levels of oxygen trapped under an upper helium layer. Initially, surveyors detected traces of iridium found from orbit, only to find a surprising archaeological discovery. The iridium came from bunkers on the surface, blown apart by a Dreadnought-class weapon. The logical conclusion was that the civilization on Job had reached Laban, and its outposts here were destroyed to make their extermination complete. Got another rich planet, fam.
Launching probe.
Maybe the Reapers and Keepers are like chickens and eggs. I mean, the fact that their names rhyme in English, which is a human language, coincidence? More at 5. Give me this Ezo.
Launching probe.
Come on. Man.
Probe launched. Probe launched.
Oh man, I love planets that have EZO.
Probe away.
Ancient aliens, is it possible? Who knows, man? Oops. Alright, let's get in here. Let's get in here. Check this planet out. What do we got here? I still remember, if your wife looks like this, she's a keeper. Dang you. I was fond of that joke. I was very fond of that joke. A small gas giant. Mizraim is primarily hydrogen and methane around a rocky core. There's no remaining trace of the civilization from Job on Mizraim itself, but debris orbiting the planet indicates that artificial satellites were once in place before being destroyed. We're getting low on funds here, chat. Spending a lot of money here. Goliath. A hydrogen-helium gas giant glides to orbit, takes it near the system's mass relay, a useful event for drive core discharges and automated helium-3 refueling platforms. Unfortunately, its orbit is currently taking it away from the relay, and it will continue to inconvenience for the next 3 galactic standard years. Alright, let's go. Let's go help Jacob. Alpha Draconis, where the Hugo Gernsback is. 2175 AR2, still formerly unnamed, this planet is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with 21 moon-sized objects. Cool. Alright, here we go. Aya.
Anomaly detected.
Named after an Asari scientist, this remote planet appears to have been on the list of forbidden mass relays that led to uncharted space. The little data available comes from one far-off probe flyby that reports 2 planets orbiting a white dwarf star. Your own scans yield far more interesting results. The planet is within a habitable zone of the star. It has oceans of liquid water and a thin nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere consistent with carbon-based plant life. It is possible that this is an as-yet unexplored garden world. We don't know, Lilypad. We have no idea what the answer to that question is yet. Or I don't even know if we will. As Sovereign said to us in Mass Effect 1, it is beyond our comprehension.
Launching probe.
General distress. MSV Hugo Gernsback. Registration BW4610034087. Impact and
Scans have found something.
I want that EZO. Hold on, I want that EZO.
Probe away. Launching probe.
Oh no. Did I just screw something up? I think I just screwed something up. Hold on. Oh, land. Okay, there we go. All right, Jacob. I actually think we're gonna take I think we're gonna take Miranda, because Miranda's been with Jacob the longest, and I want to make sure that we take somebody that he feels safe with while we do this. Because this is gonna be pretty rough on him, I imagine. He hasn't talked to his dad in a long time, so let's bring some supportive people that he's familiar with, so that maybe he feels a little bit of our support and love while we do this.
I've run a scan of the ship. I detect no life signs, but there may be useful technology or information still inside.
Not a great start. Jacob, my dude. What's up, Poopity? Hey, Mr. Mick. My partner and I have recently started taking antidepressants. I know you don't prescribe or deal with meds, but do you know how to tackle questions with those who take them? How to tackle questions with those who take them? I'm not sure what you're asking, Poopity. Also, Chad, I once again want to say thank you all for being here and hanging out. Appreciate you spending some time with me this
there
evening.
It is, and mostly intact. They could have survived impact, but it's been years.
Oi. Oi. Did I just hear a gunshot? There's a VI down here.
Looks like it was stripped after the crash. They'd have tried to get a beacon up as soon as possible.
Partial officer's log.
Along with this anymore, we've done horrible things to the crew. The conditions they're in, they don't understand what we're doing to them. Distract them for 2 seconds and they forget what you did before the bruises show. It's got to stop. I'm talking to the others as soon as...
Repeat, toxology alert. Danger of rapid neural decay. Local flora chemically incompatible with human physiology. Override. Beacon resumed. Pause time, 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours.
From the look of it, this beacon's been here a while. Why would they wait years to signal?
Pause in beacon protocol. 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours. Pause is recorded as record deleted by Acting Captain Ronald Taylor.
That's not right. My father was first officer.
Ronald Taylor was promoted under emergency command protocols. Other flagged issues: unsafe deceleration, local food and neural decay, beacon activation protocols.
All right, well, let's learn a little bit more about what happened here. I have no idea what's going on.
Who's in command of this ship? Where are the survivors?
Captain Harris Fairchild reported killed following unscheduled suborbital descent. First Officer Ronald Taylor promoted in-field to acting captain.
But where is he now?
The location of the remaining crew of the Hugo Gernsback is unknown. This beacon has been unattended for several maintenance cycles.
I assume unsafe deceleration refers to the crash. Give me the details.
Following an unspecified impact and sublight drive failure, the Hugo Gernsback made an unscheduled descent at 465% of theoretical recommended suborbital velocity. The Hugo Gernsback then decelerated at 782% of theoretical recommended approach velocity, sustaining significant damage to investment and crew.
I'm not really a numbers guy, nor am I a pilot. But those seem like big numbers. And ooh.
Local food impairs brain functions? What are the effects?
Impairment of mental function due to chemical imbalance begins within 7 days of ingesting local flora, regardless of decontamination or preparation. Impact on higher cognitive abilities and long-term memory is cumulative, but significant within a standard month. It is not known if neural decay is permanent. Data collection was not completed.
Why wasn't the beacon activated before now?
This emergency beacon became functional after 358 days, 12 hours, following the unscheduled suborbital descent of the Hugo Gernsback. Activation was triggered remotely after 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours, on the authority of Acting Captain Ronald Taylor. Pause in beacon protocol is recorded as record deleted.
Okay, so obviously Ronald turned this on, but
Come on, let's get going.
Let's check the ship. My father had the beacon for almost 9 years. Maybe that neural decay affected him.
Avoiding it for a decade seems unlikely.
okay, so maybe Miranda wasn't a great choice. Miranda, I don't need you to state facts right now. We are here to support Jacob in the emotional endeavor that he is going on in finding his father that he hasn't talked to in 10 years. I'm pretty sure that all three of us are sitting here listening to the VI and we can deduce what is going on, okay? Stating the obvious right now, I don't think is particularly helpful or calming to our dear friend Jacob. Miranda, I would like to ask you that you please use tact in the remainder of this mission, or else you are really going to make me question whether bringing you is a good idea on this shit. Like, come on! God! Oh, man. Are you able to talk about questions related to feeling that relate to the side effects to medicine? For instance, our sexual relation has been altered since we started medication. We talk about sex more and we have it less. Are you able to talk about these types of emotional side effects, Does that make sense? Yeah, not really, Poopity, because I don't work with meds. What I would recommend is to go into the Discord and go to Questions for Monster and ask your questions to Monster, because he's a board-certified psychiatric pharmacist and he's willing to answer those questions. Make sure you tag him. At least she isn't Ashley. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I just, sometimes saying things like that just isn't helpful. It's just, I understand wanting to inject some reality, but I'm pretty sure the three of us know what the deal is here. All right, I don't want to board the ship yet. Let's see what else is going on over here.
You came from the sky? The leader said someone would come. He delayed for so long, but he still has power. Some have lost faith. The hunters. They will have seen your star. They will not let you help him.
Never tell somebody to calm down. It doesn't work. So instead of me saying calm down, because obviously she's excited, why would I tell her to calm down? Let's just go ahead and let's re-engage her with like who she is. Give me your name and rank. Let's treat this officially here. I'm not going to tell you to calm down.
Who are you? What was your rank on the Gernsback?
I can't think. The leader thinks for us and we serve. So we can go home. But some want to fight him. They were cast out. He exiled them, so they hunt his machines and those who help him. They don't believe that rescue will come.
Hunters, they won't stop until the leader is dead.
Kill them! Agents of the liar! He will not escape!
Trouble coming!
Wow, so there's some real shit going on. Oh boy.
He goes.
Take it down!
On target!
So I'm guessing these guys are assuming we're part of whoever it is that they consider to be leaders? I'm gonna need more deets, man. We got a lot of Jesus.
Get over here!
Jacob, you got any ideas what might be going on here, buddy? And why everybody looks the same?
That wasn't neural decay. They were feral.
My father wouldn't let this go on. Something is very wrong.
All right, let's go check out the ship.
You killed them, but there are more every day. They want to fight, but I just want to go home.
She's lost it. We need to find someone who can make sense of this.
Oh boy. you imagine it's having you're just fighting and somebody flies over and it knocks you out? Yeah, no shit. All right, let's see what we got going on here. We got first. Let's get that money. You know how we do. Partial crew log.
Expect the luxury of due process, but this isn't a military ship. Just bumping the command line up a notch doesn't work. Captain Fairchild knew this crew. His replacement doesn't command the same level of respect. I'm hoping the man has it in him, but I don't.
All right, so maybe this chain of command bump up wasn't necessarily following protocol.
What's her name? Sarah? Suzanne? My God, I can't remember. I can't remember her face. We need to get out so I can remember, can think straight. They have to hurry.
Boy, there was some real dire shit going on here. I mean, if this crashed and the fauna on this planet is not sustainable and makes people lose their minds, this is probably not gonna bode well. What's up, Tarek? Why would you ever record that? It's a great question. A great question. What's up, Lakin? I have played this 10 times. This is my 10th time through the trilogy. I'm playing it as a blind playthrough. I'm acting as if it's my first time. It's mostly just a way of trying to sort of engage with chat. I ask a lot of rhetorical questions and stuff just to kind of tell people where my mind's at. A lot of questions about what's going on here. And I think it's fun to sort of stimulate conversation in that way. So, by the way, for those of you that are just rolling in here recently, welcome in. If you were on the browse page and you're coming in, giving me checking me out, one of the things that I do, I am a licensed therapist. I do have a PhD in human development, and I use this game to illustrate various psychological concepts. We have a lot of fun doing that. I also overanalyze and over-explain my dialogue options while I'm going through the game because I think that makes it more engaging and interesting. We are doing a spoiler-free chat, spoiler-free in chat, and it's been a lot of fun. If you want to catch up on the run, or if you want to see some of the tidbits where I've applied psychological principles to what we're playing, check out TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Reruns are on YouTube, and TikTok is really the hub right now of some of the major psychological stuff that we've been covering. So it's great to have you all here. I appreciate you spending time with me. And yeah, having lots of fun. Stripped mech.
Stripped for parts. Tech's wearing out. Those hunters must be laying on the pressure.
I just want to know why these hunters are even here. Like, whoa, whoa. What is this? Maybe if I walk up unarmed and chill, maybe we'll be okay.
They better be friendlier than the beach group. I need answers.
Looks like a statue of some type. Is this like Jonestown? What's going on here?
They're clearly docile, but in the same uniform remnants as those who attacked us.
They're all ladies.
There aren't any men here. Maybe it affects genders differently. Makes males get violent?
Possibly. But the woman on the beach said the exiled ones came back as hunters.
It doesn't matter right now. One of these people must know what my father has to do with this.
You have his face. He promised to call the sky, but he sends nothing.
He forced us to eat, to decay. You are cursed with his face.
Something you said, Jacob? I know I say this a lot, but like it's like there was one person at BioWare that they just tasked with like, all right, man, here we're gonna throw the script at you, and we want you to come up with the most tactless thing you could possibly say in a given situation. All right. In all seriousness, there's some shit going on here. Jacob, what's this isn't good, man.
Not the best reaction to the family resemblance, Jacob.
Why would my father force his crew to eat toxic food? Whatever's happening here needs to stop.
So, you know, a dynamic that we have been running across many, many times throughout this playthrough, particularly in Mass Effect 2, are people having to come to terms with expectations they had of their fathers and their experiences not aligning with those expectations. We had this with Tally. We've had this with Jacob. We've had this just, I mean, it's just happening all over the place here. So, every time we walk up to this, we're like, oh man, my dad did a thing that I don't agree with. Lots of dissonance. I mean, I don't know. It's interesting that that's been a pattern. All right, let's talk. Let's gather information. That's the best we can do in this moment.
I can't talk to you. I don't want punishing.
Oh boy.
Look at these spoiled food stores. They've been eating only that toxic local food for who knows how long. Like that wasn't obvious enough.
The hunters will kill you. They fight because he exiled them and waited too long.
What the hell? Somebody had to push them to make that. That's borderline worship.
Jacob, I hate to break it to you, man, but I don't know that that's borderline. So here's the facts that we have so far. The Hugo Gernsback crashed down on this planet. It sounds like roughly 8 years ago or so. And the fauna that you eat on this planet is apparently not good and leads to a bunch of neural issues. We could have learned more from that VEI, but the logs had been wiped. There's all women at the camp that are relatively docile, and we've been attacked by a bunch of men. And now we have robots coming at us. Well, this is fun. Absolutely, Ed. It's been my pleasure, man.
Target down!
Patrols like that are a little much against this bunch.
Well, that would make them hate him. Maybe it was just for defense.
This, again, more assimilation here. More assimilation. I'm going to illustrate this every time it happens because assimilation is such a go-to aversive arousal tactic for people when they're trying to mitigate cognitive dissonance. So Jacob has in his mind that there's no way that his father could have done something terrible. So everything that he is perceiving with his experience is biased into that expectation. So we have robots that come down this mountain that are fighting, and because Jacob wants to preserve his expectation of his father, he says those robots could potentially be for protection of him, meaning that maybe these groups are hostile and that his dad's in trouble. Because the idea that his dad may be doing something nefarious would mean that he has to change his expectations of his father in alignment with his experience, which is what we would call accommodation. Accommodation tends to be more of the preferable way of navigating cognitive dissonance and inconsistency compensation. But assimilation is the easier one. We like to maintain our expectations and our little cognitive squares that we put things in. And this is an example of Jacob doing that. And that little comment there. These robots are possibly for his self-defense because I don't want to change my expectations of my father. I need more evidence or whatever it may be. So if you ever want to know what that looks like, that's what assimilation looks like.
Here, you could end it. You have his face. You fight his machines. You might stop this. This, I forget how to read, but this was the start. What he promised, and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the sky.
Jacob, what does it say?
It's a crew logbook. Some of them thought the beacon repair was taking too long. They were afraid they'd run out of supplies and lose their minds to the decay. My father restricted the ship food for himself and the other officers so they wouldn't be affected. Everybody else had to eat the toxic food and hope for treatment later. The rest is a casualty list. A few mutinied over the decision. My father and his officers turned the mechs on them.
Oh. Now, on face value, this sounds like it was really a terrible decision to be made there. That was shitty. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate for just a minute. I want to be very clear up front here that I'm not advocating for forcibly making subordinate officers eat problematic food that's going to make them go crazy. At the same time, this is survival. This ship crashed into this planet. You are going to need people that have their mental wherewithal in order to make decisions should the time come. Because if everybody goes crazy, that's not particularly useful, right? If everybody loses their mind, can't read, don't know, right? So we have to make some hard decisions about who is going to maintain their mental acumen so that if something happens or if we need to repair something or some sort of orbital ship comes across, we need people who are able to interface with the outside world. Now, my only hope would be that that decision was made democratically. The problem here sounds like maybe Mr. Ronald Taylor used the power that he had in basically forcing himself up the rank in order to make that decision for himself rather than make it a community-wide decision where everybody's in on it. And the mutiny that happens with the group suggests that that was not a consensual decision by the group. Ugh. So in some ways it's harsh but defendable. Like I could get on board with this, but I don't know that I want to go quite in that direction yet. That's in my mind, but I don't know that I could defend that decision given the fact that it probably was forced upon the group.
The beacon was fixed after a year, so the plan must have worked. Why no signal?
Those weren't the last entries on the casualty list. More incidents, harsh punishments. It's like they're cattle or toys. In a year, all the male crew members are flagged as exiled or dead. They separated out the women, assigned them to officers, like pets. And after the beacon is fixed, the officers appear in the casualties too. After. My father took control and didn't stop it.
Whoa.
Does it say why he separated the men and the women? Or is it as bad as it seems?
No, it turns to gibberish. Maybe the men got violent early on, but from the state of this place, I'd say the Hunter thing is recent. What he allowed here, Shepard, I don't see any justification.
Anything in there about whether the effects of the toxic food can be treated?
Nothing. But it seems like the right call. If everyone gets it, who's left to fix the beacon? You'd never get out, but they did fix it. And the signal wasn't sent until now. I'm starting to see why.
I wonder if it's because they ran out of food stores. Also, Samurai, hello. Thank you for the kind words.
We haven't seen any other officers. He killed them?
There were 5 after the crash. Medical, engineering, bridge staff. Should have had no problem fixing the beacon and keeping people safe. All killed within the same week. About a month after the beacon was repaired.
Do you see an explanation for this? He's your father.
Is he? None of this fits. Maybe the initial decision, but the rest? Abuse of power doesn't get any clearer than this. I need to find this man.
Accommodation! Now he's accommodating. Now he's saying, my experience in reading this is forcing me to change the expectations I have of my father. That is a very mature, yet potentially devastating thing to come to here. The accommodation's hard. So now Jacob's having to reconcile reality with what his expectations were of his father. It's not great. I mean, granted, he hasn't talked to his father in 10 years, so it probably helps buffer that, make it a little bit easier for him. If he'd been having good contact with his father, it'd probably be that much harder for him to reconcile this. But whoo, for him to say, this ain't my father, now we're cooking with gas. Now the man has maybe more of a realistic portrayal of what's going on with his father, which I am now feeling more confident as a leader, bringing him into this space, hoping that maybe this will be a more effective exchange that maybe leads to some form of justice or getting the answer of what's going on here. General Andrews, thank you so much for the 13 months, my friend. Always happy to throw this puppy up there. Well, thank you very much, man. Shout out for General Andrews, please. All right, blow this shit up. Let's get to old Ron. Isn't it common for children when they're maturing to have to face the reality that their parent has done questionable things? Yes, that is part of adulthood. We have to, when differentiating yourself from your parents and maturing.
My crew went insane. I only just got free.
My crew went.
God damn it! It's really him. Just got free. He's covering his ass.
Oh. Heroin Dark, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate you, friend. Welcome in. Those of you coming along with heroin or anybody who's, you know, off the browse page, I'm Dr. Mick, licensed couple and family therapist. I have a PhD in human development, and this is Game Sessions with a Therapist, where we play cool games, talk about mental health, psychology, therapy, and more in an effort to destigmatize those things, bring information to people who wouldn't otherwise have it in a responsible and ethical way. We're currently playing Mass Effect. It's a spoiler-free run. So please, no spoilers in chat. I appreciate all of you upholding that standard. You will be timed out if you post any spoilers. That includes asking anything about what have I done yet. Heroin Dark, thank you so much for not only for the raid, but for the 6 months of support. I appreciate it. Something else for anybody who's here who hasn't heard yet. New merch is in the merch store today, so if you want to go check that out, by all means do so. Favorite Mass Effect merch would be this shirt right here that I'm wearing and have worn for every Mass Effect stream. So as we were saying, one of the things that children have to go through when they become adults and become more aware of how the world works and the complexities of it is they do and have to kind of reckon with who their parents are and see their parents as actual human beings as opposed to the idealized caregivers that they have long understood them to be. That can be a very harsh and difficult process for a child to go through. A lot of times children, even as they become adults, will avoid doing that to maintain the idealization they have of their parents. So, you know, I generally recommend that as you get older, if you have parents that are communicative and you have a generally decent relationship with them, be more curious about their lives. Ask about them. Get a feel for who they are as people. Sometimes that means you can have a closer relationship. Sometimes it means a little bit of distance. But treating your parents as other humans can be really helpful sometimes in forming a meaningful relationship with them on into adulthood. Dead bodies, examined.
The old corpse has been posed, like a warning. The new ones were left where they fell.
The hunters started fighting back.
Are we getting married?
Oh, man. Heroin, thank you so much for the 15 bucks more mugs. I think we need to give a mug. Heroin mugs you. Oh, man. Thank you, friend. We can do that. Heroin, if you hang around for a little bit, I will do a giveaway when we finish this mission. Thank you so much. All right, this is music.
Make activity.
More mechs. Thank you so much, friend. Having a hard time believing that, Ronald.
Plenty of choices. Place blames victims.
This is a lot of mechs, man. Okay. I like to think anybody watching the VODs in the future is going to be confused as to how Dr. Mick played. all of the Mass Effect series in one sitting and why he kept changing hats in the middle of it.
Here we go.
Yes. I too will be interested in the future. Wow, I love how that just shattered that thing. That's awesome. Yeah. Uh-oh.
Get over here.
Requesting assistance.
Alright, let's see if there's anything we can salvage over here. Heavy pistol damage, that'll be useful.
Firing now.
System damage. Requesting casualty.
Okay. Oh shit, oh shit. I'm in trouble. Give me shield. Give me shield. No! Ugh! Damn it. That was too ballsy. How's your back? It is better than it has been. It's getting better every day. I appreciate you asking. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And there's a chance that they'll probably have to, they might have to order an MRI depending on how bad it is when they assess it. So
System not
we'll see.
designed for specialized ammunition.
I'm hopeful that it won't be too bad. Maybe that I could even avoid an MRI and I just need to go to a chiropractor. Too ballsy is the Vanguard way. It is, but when you're playing on Insanity, you gotta be careful, man.
Critical system damage.
Shit.
Rerouting power. Backup systems.
Get behind this tree.
I'm done.
Backup systems engaged.
Alright. Alright, nice and easy, Ryan.
Attention,
Taking cover.
Oh shit!
ground. I've got him.
What's more fun, Vanguard or Paragon or Renegade runs? I think they're both fine. I mean, it depends on your preference. I don't really like playing the game in its pure form. Like, I've done a full Paragon, I've done a full Renegade. I just don't care for it. I prefer to try to, like, you know, make different decisions to see the different reactions you're going to get. And I think if you go pure Renegade or pure Paragon, you're missing out on really thinking your way through the game. I think it sort of allows the game to think for you. But I mean, to each their own. I'm certainly not going to judge people for doing that. I prefer to do it the way I'm doing it, which is where I make the decisions that I would make. Also, I'm thinking we probably have to move up here, or else these guys are going to spawn infinitely, which is some bullshit. Let's go arc projector.
Requesting assistance.
There we go. All right.
I had to keep them busy, distracted, but it's getting dangerous. Thank God you've come.
He had his fun. Now he wants out. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, your dad's not really, like, you know, doing much to really win us over here, man. Ron is Ronron's got some serious shit to answer for here.
Incoming.
All right. I'm afraid you'll have to fight them to rescue me, dude. This guy is entrenched in what he's created.
This thing is not my father.
Heading to cover.
Right.
Not great. Do I hear a Big Mac? I think I do. Oh boy. Run, Shepard, run! Not great. Get these humans taken care of before that mech gets over here, because that's gonna suck ass. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Charge him, Shepard. How am I alive? How am I alive? My compadres are dead. This is not good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. How am I alive? I can't. How am I alive right now? Oh my god. This is insane, man.
Now let's finish you off.
I've got him.
It's gonna blow.
Woo!
Enough with the toys. I need to look my father in the eye and hear him justify this.
Yeah, you do. Oh boy. This is
Free
not.
and clear.
Something tells me this is not going to go well. Types of mental health questions get asked here. All sorts. If you pop over to my YouTube, you'll see what are called mental health tidbit videos. It might give you a little bit of a taste of them. We got almost 300 of them up there. But you can ask anything you like. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I won't. And I'll point you in the right direction if I can. All right, here we go. What do you got, Ron? Standing here alone.
You're here. I knew a real squad would blow through just fine. Sorry if the mech scuffed your pads. I'll get you something nice when we get back to Alliance base. I've got to have some back pay coming.
What about your crew, acting captain?
Total loss. The toxic food turned them wild. They propped me up here in some kind of ritual behavior. Waiting for a chance to signal has been hell.
That's the best you can do?
You let all your people talk back like that? Who are you exactly?
Commander Shepard of the Normandy. I believe you're acquainted with Mr. Taylor.
Taylor? Jacob? No. Not Jacob.
Why not me? Would 10 years of this look better to anyone else in the galaxy?
You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you. I wasn't ready for that. I made sure you were taught right. Before I left, I hope to leave it at that.
I'm not biting, Captain. At some point, you chose to do this to your crew. You.
What was that moment? I want to know that there was an actual reason.
There was resistance to the plan. Mutiny. We had to take a hard line to keep order. And things settled down. As the decay set in, we made sure the crew were comfortable. Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance, like an instinct. Pure authority was easy, at first. Months in, the effect lowered inhibitions. They got territorial. Rank, protocol, they couldn't understand. We had to establish dominance. After a while, the perks seemed normal.
That's it? You created a harem and played king? 10 years in a juvenile fantasy?
I can't point to where it all went wrong. But when the beacon was ready, revealing what happened didn't seem like a good idea.
Oh, man. Stanford prison experiments, anyone? When people take roles, particularly under significant duress, they will play those roles out, and they will play them to the extreme if there's no control set in to allow for them to stop. So my man Ronald he's gonna try to justify it as it all just kind of happened that way. And while that's possibly true, there were decisions made along the way that, you know, good leadership is gonna have to make tough decisions, but at least you need everybody informed and consented in on this. A little bit yikes here in terms of what's going on here. We can explain this psychologically, but it doesn't mean that it excuses what he's done. So let's get some more information here.
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense. End of the day, I was the one with the mechs. I got a little basic in setting examples. But I was kind to my people once things settled down. Seemed like I'd earned some peace.
You fought over people like they were toys.
Oh.
Things.
Oh, man. What an egocentric way to look at this. I'd gotten some peace? God forbid I made a decision that pissed everyone the fuck off? And they got, you know, a little squirrely? And it wasn't exactly peaceful for me? And so I used the mechs and the power I had in order to, like, shove them down until we got to the ones that were too weak or too scared to fight me, and then I'd earn some peace? Are you kidding me, dude? Holy hell.
The stores from the ship couldn't last forever. You had to know this would end one day.
Dining for one can really stretch things out. Besides, I can think of a lot worse retirement plans than stripping down and joining the droolers. That was before the hunters, of course. Dumb or not, I'd feel it if they got their hands on me now. They want blood. I'd prefer to keep it.
It's all about you. Everything.
You didn't feel any responsibility to get out of here for the sake of family?
I gave him a good start. He was a smart kid and was better off not following me. We figured that out a long time before I took jobs in deep space. And after things escalated here, it seemed best to just disappear off the galactic map.
Till you needed someone to save your ass.
Okay. Narcissism is a word that is thrown around entirely too often. I absolutely despise how often people use that word because narcissism is not as common as people like to believe that it is. Even saying something like narcissistic tendencies tends to be very dangerous. However, I am going to use this as an opportunity to illustrate narcissism a bit. Narcissism tends to be founded upon intense insecurity and a mountain of self-judgment. And a person will mask that mountain of self-judgment and insecurity by coming off as entirely arrogant and selfish. And the way that I'm picking up on this is Ronald is basically saying, I raised my kid and then I pushed him in a direction that I wouldn't go in. I acknowledge that I have done stuff and I orient myself to the world in a way that's not particularly great. And so I wanted to spare him from that. Which is in of itself kind of a selfish move because it engages him in an avoidance behavior. He, instead of holding himself accountable to continuing to be a good model for his kid, he said, you know what? I shoved him a little bit in the other direction to avoid the insecurities that I came by, and then I left. And I avoided that. And then I came to this settlement where I'm going to act like this was a bad idea, yet I continually acted in self-interest. Possibly because he was worried about what people would discover if he didn't do that. And if he's been overly poisoned by that, he's given a little bit of power, he's got the role, he's going to take that on. He's going to continue to mask whatever insecurity and judgment he has towards himself. And so now he's having to confront this by looking his son in the face. And he's not going to come off that immediately just because he sees his son. He's too far entrenched in it. So if we look at this guy as a narcissist, which I think a lot of us probably might look at and go, you're pretty close. We have to remember the foundations of that. That does not make him a tragic figure. It does not excuse the actions that he has engaged in, but it is something that's worth paying attention to, because if we were going to try to work with Ronald to make better decisions and repair things in the future, we'd have to get in on that.
What triggered the males to change and threaten you?
This planet has some strange cycles to it. I've seen some plants around I never saw before. Odd weather. Maybe some just adapted a little too well.
And if you treat them like animals, big shock. They become animals.
By the way, I see some conversation about the prison experiments, and yes, there is some stuff that's come out that's basically said that that was maybe not necessarily a fully excellent study. At the same time, we do know that humans do fill roles. When you give humans roles and you give them a set of expectations, they will adhere to those expectations, whether they have been explicitly stated to them or whether they've been represented in a certain way. In the same way that if you tell an actor they're playing like a drug lord or whatever, they're going to create a character based on what they've seen representative drug lords and what research they do. And if people are left unchecked and there's not a lot of reinforcement that punishes certain aspects of that role, people will fill that role. So though the prison experiment is often used to illustrate that and has recently sort of been looked at with a little bit more skepticism, we do know that humans will fill roles. They will engage in a level of cognitive and behavioral bias that goes toward the direction of whatever role they believe they're filling. So it's still relevant here. Jacob, we could undo this if we try. I hope this is me saying this to Jacob.
We can help these people. Cerberus can have ships here in days and pull everyone out.
He's not worth the fuel to haul him out or the air he's breathing. He's damn lucky I don't think he's even worth pulling the trigger. I don't know who you are, because you're not any father I remember.
And that probably confirms every piece of insecurity that Mr. Ronald Taylor has. His son literally just pointed a gun at him and said, "You're not even worth shooting." And if deep down Ronald is built on a lack of self-worth, a deep insecurity about who he is and how he engages with the world, that just confirmed everything, every suspicion he ever had about himself. And he is the one that created that destructive path of self-prophecy. And there it is, looking at him right in the eyes. Self-fulfilling prophecy is absolutely a thing, friends. You have to be careful with the way that you view the world and how you bias yourself into certain cognitions and behaviors, because this usually ends up happening, and then you don't ever want to be the person that says to yourself, "I told you so," when it's something this awful. Now, the question is, do we take him in? Do we just leave him here and allow him to reap what he sowed? Or do we say, I'd have shot him? I think we let him reap what he sowed. You built this? You set a beacon? You got the wrong guy here. I got bigger fish to fry than taking this guy to court.
Maybe we go arrange pickup for the rest of the survivors while the acting captain deals with the hole we punched through his mechs.
Now wait, I'm supposed to get rescued. The crazy ones, you don't know what they'll do to me.
We can guess.
My father was a different man, Shepard. A good man. Wish I'd found him.
Jacob!
You were a better man dead. As far as I'm concerned, you still are.
Jacob!
Way to control your narrative, Jacob. Way to control your narrative. That is holding your parent accountable in adulthood. That is looking at the decisions your parent has made and said, you know what? Don't respect it. And as far as I'm concerned, you're dead to me. And that is honestly one of the best ways to cognitively sever yourself from somebody if you decide you're going to cut them off, is you imagine they're dead. Because if Jacob continues to engage with him, if he continues to reach out, that's not actually a cutoff. Cutoff is cutoff. You have to imagine that that person has died. You do not engage with them any further. And Jacob is on the road toward that by the way that he just handled that. Holy shit. Mission summary. Survivors from IA are being treated by Alliance personnel with additional service support. Pleased to see Taylor unharmed psychologically by the experience. Jacob Taylor has dealt with his father and is now focused solely on the mission. That's a hell of a mission, man.
Alliance ships are inbound to pick up survivors, Commander. We can be long gone by the time they get here.
Don't even give them the taillights.
Roger that.
What do you mean it wasn't you?
Jacob, if I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
Nothing goes through this ship, my ship, without a report to you.
I had no more reason to believe Jacob's father was alive than he did, but I'm happy to know the situation is behind you.
Fine, you didn't forward it, so who did?
I did.
What? I want to give you the benefit of the doubt here. Did you do that to help with him or to mess with him? What's the deal?
Was this supposed to be a favor, or did you just want to see him squirm?
What he did with it was his own business. There was a time when it mattered to you. Sending this along seemed like keeping an old promise. I keep my promises.
Miranda, we'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private. Shepard, Jacob.
Whoa.
You good with this, Jacob?
It's all bull, Shepard. Captain Taylor's body has some catching up to do, but the man died a long time ago. I've already dealt with that. I guess he was a good enough father that even he can't screw up what he taught me.
Okay.
Come on. We've got work to do.
Aye, Commander. Shepard. Thanks for the help.
You bet, bud.
Anytime, Jacob.
Right, Farnix? I know. Maybe we should take Miranda to Vermeer? Yeah, one time only? I know, it's a little bit harsh, isn't it? Not for nothing, last time my therapist said that to me last week was, yes, you'll probably be devastated when your cat dies. I mean, he wasn't wrong, but he didn't have to say it so bluntly, right? Yeah, no, there's you can have tact in the way that you deliver purposeful information like that. Alright, let's check in with Jacob here.
Thanks for diverting to the Gernsback, Shepard. I appreciate being able to clean up that mess. And don't worry, it will not affect how I do my job. It's over.
Fair enough, man.
I'm interested in getting to know you better.
Already? I'm not big on forcing these.
We'll talk later.
Commander.
Yeah, alright. I shot my shot there. Alright, let's check in with a couple of the crew.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Yes, good timing, in fact. Excellent. Made breakthrough. Can share results while next samples grow. Hate waiting for culture analysis. Never fast enough. Usually no result in advance. Just checking work. Have to be careful. Getting off track. Discovery. Based on Prothean collector connection, can examine technology, chart Reaper species modification, fall of Protheans.
Tell me what happened.
Early stages similar to indoctrination. Can guess captured Protheans lost intelligence over several cloned generations. Cybernetic augmentation widespread afterward. As Protheans failed, Reapers added tech to compensate. Mental capacity almost gone, replaced by overworked sensory input transfers. Transmitting data to masters.
Is there anything we can do to help them?
No. No glands replaced by tech. No digestive system replaced by tech. No soul replaced by tech. Whatever they were, gone forever. Understand now? No art, no culture, closer to husks than slaves, tools for reapers. Protheans dead, collectors just final insult. Must be destroyed.
Damn. So they are basically like a synthesis of tech and organic, and that's in like the worst of ways. Oof.
I didn't think you needed any more motivation than you already had to stop the collectors.
Enjoyed challenge. Saw necessity of attack on collectors after Plague on Omega. Their work, my people. Hard to care about two armies. One wins, one loses. Always work to do after. Now, have more context. See what collectors are. Wasn't looking for other work before. Don't mean to imply that. Just committed now. Won't let you down.
You said the collectors had no art. I had no idea you cared about that kind of thing.
Personal interest negligible. Sang a little. Multi-species productions for cultural exploration. Gilbert and Sullivan always had me do the patter songs. But not about me. Cultural artistic expression reflects philosophical evolution, interest in growth, perspective, observation, interpretation. Suspect you won't see any art in collector base. Culturally dead. Tools for reapers. Worse than the Geth.
I'm sorry. I know that was important, but you performed Gilbert and Sullivan?
I am the very model of a scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asari, and Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics as a subset of biology because I am an expert, which I know is a tautology. My xenoscience studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite things ever. I was wondering when it was going to happen. Holy shit. Hold on. One more. All right, one more. We're going to sing along. We're singing along, chat.
I know that was important, but...
We're going to act like we didn't see it.
Performed Gilbert and Sullivan?
I am the very model of a scientist Solarian. I've studied species Turian, Asari, and Batarian. I'm quite good at genetics as a subset of biology because I am an expert, which I know is a tautology. My exocyanic studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the mighty model of a scientist Solarian. Yes. Yes. I told you I would never sing on stream, and I've been waiting for this moment to do it. There you go, friends. You have heard me sing on stream.
What is it about the collector's modifications that bothers you so much?
Disrupts socio-technological balance. All scientific advancement due to intelligence overcoming, compensating for limitations. Can't carry a load, so invent wheel. Can't catch food, so invent spear. Limitations. No limitations, no advancement. No advancement, culture stagnates. Works other way, too. Advancement before culture is ready. Disastrous. Saw it with Krogan. Uplifted by Solarians. Disastrous. Our fault.
You blame the Solarians for what the Krogan did?
Yes. Like giving nuclear weapons to cavemen. Krogan unprepared for spaceflight, technological advance. Krogan could have evolved alone, worked out aggression, been ready to use new tech responsibly. Instead, Solarians came, disrupted Krogan culture, used Krogan as blunt instrument against Rachni. Short-sighted. Foolish.
All right. So with that, Heroin, I don't know if you're still here, but we're going to do a mug giveaway. The fabulous Heroin Dark has generously gifted a mug to chat. If you want to get in on the mug with the new merch, ! Scientist Solarian gets you in on it. So if you want to get one of the new mugs that's in the merch store, Scientist Solarian will get you in. You can copy paste it.
Thanks for sharing what you've learned, Morden.
Proud to be here, Shepard. Thank you for including me.
Very welcome, Morden. It's my pleasure, buddy. If that doesn't endear you to Morden, I don't know what will. One of my favorite parts of the whole game. I was not ready for it when it happened the first time. It was so great. You want to check out the mugs that are available, that link will get you there.
That stuff with Jacob's dad, it's bullshit, right? Because it looked like bullshit to me.
Yes.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Thank you, Chip. Super Chip. I am the very model of a scientist, Solarian.
That Kasumi is an interesting addition to the crew. I can see why she's good at her work. She never reveals anything meaningful about herself. It's all on the surface. It'll be a challenge getting to know who she really is. Anyway, how may I help you, Commander?
She has boundaries, unlike you, Kelly, who sits here and tells me about every single crew member that you're thirsty for. Like, she looks at our entire crew like they're a snack. Kasumi's got boundaries. She's got principles. Like, I'd almost rather have Kasumi in the HR position than Kelly. Like, how observant of you.
That'll be all.
I'll be here if you need anything.
See if we got any messages. No new messages in our private terminal. All right. I'm impressed that he holds Solarians responsible for there ever being a Krogan problem in the first place. Very deep character. Morden knows what he's doing, man. Morden is insightful. He is thoughtful. Everything he does is calculated. I have so much respect. So much respect for Morden. You're so sweet, King. All right, last chance, exclamation point, Scientist Solarian will get you in on the mug giveaway if you want to get a mug. I did not go to school for fish tankineering. The reality of it is, I wanted boats. Okay, I wanted boats. I didn't want fish. I prefer things that float on top of the water. I got boats. It just took a little while. I'm excited. You guys like my boat collection? Anyone? No? Okay. Well, you'd think that in the year 2185 that we would maybe have like automatic fish feeders, but whatever. Look at my ship collection. That's what it's really all about. All right. Helmet. Reduces your recharge time of your powers. That's probably actually better. We'll go with that. Chest. Reduces the delay when your shields start regenerating. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that's better than that. Weapon damage by 5%. Power damage by 5%. Increases health by 5%. Probably want weapon damage. Arms. Health by 3. Shields by 5. We'll go shields by 5. Life support webbing. Increases health by 10. Increases storm speed by 10. Shield strength by 2. Life support weapon. Alright. Good to go. I'm afraid to ask about the space hamster. He's okay. He's doing alright. What's up, buddy? We're good. Space hamster's fine. Weird looking boats. Look an awful lot like dead fish. It's, yeah, I know. I don't know, actually, Cheese. All right, let's go. Let's just go really quickly and let's check out the rest of this nebula, and then we can just be done with it. Only got 2 planets to explore here and read. Silene. A mid-sized hydrogen-helium gas giant, Silene has an automated helium-3 refueling station, indicating that this remote system was once inhabited. Its distance from the mass relay and archaic design of the fuel station suggests that this system was mapped by somebody who did not go through the relay but discovered it in independent, faster-than-light exploration. Silene is within the frost line of its parent star where gas giants do not normally form. For this reason, Silene is believed to be an extrasolar capsule. It's got no resources. Let's get out of here. Enter orbit. Parnassus. A boiling hot rock planet with extreme tectonic activity, Parnassus is home to many volcanic mountains. Surface scans reveal several geothermal and solar power wind stations, tapping the planet's abundant energy. There's no history of the planet or its government in Citadel Council records. Given its proximity to a mapped and recorded planet like Silene, someone must have deleted Parnassus from its database. Grab a few resources off the planet, and then we're out.
Launching probe.
Independent faster-than-light travel method. That's very interesting. Yes.
Probe away.
That was achieved by some of the races. Humans just kind of got lucky and found the Prothean artifacts on Mars that led to them locating the mass relay.
Probe launched.
Yeah, independent faster-than-light travel is still possible in order to get to certain systems. It's not all mass relay network.
Probe launched. Probe launched.
The relays are even faster than FTL travel. Mass relay travel is almost instantaneous, Pi. When you go through the mass relay, like you literally just like it's boom, 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 instead of it's still taking that much time to get to a certain system. Yeah, it's certainly possible, Taco. All right, let's go hit the mass relay and chat. I think it's time we go help our friend Jack. Bannock. Bannock is a large superterrestrial hothouse with a crushing carbon dioxide atmosphere. A high average density of over 7 grams per cubic centimeter indicates that Bannock is a mineralogical treasure trove. If only there were some way to safely reach its seas of molten metal and loads of radioactives. The planet's mass is so great that trace amounts of helium and molecular hydrogen can be found in the atmosphere. Well, that sounds promising.
Probe launched.
Like the conduit that can send even a damn land vehicle to the Citadel from the Terminus systems, right? Impressive
Probe
shit.
launched.
What about the giveaway? Oh, yeah. Super Chip. Congratulations, bud. You have won a mug. Go ahead and tag me in chat, and I'll get the mug sent over your way, man. So I need you to send me a DM, send me your name, your address, and which mug you want, and I'll get it sent to you. And thank you, Heroin Dark, for the giveaway. I really appreciate it. But congratulations, dude.
Probe away. Probe away.
Again, for anybody interested in the merch, we do have new merch that dropped today, including a Coconut Man Shepard I Should Go shirt. So if you really want, if you've been itching for some new Mass Effect merch, you can get some Dr. Mick Live Mass Effect merch. Huh?
Probe away.
While your main man here explores these planets for their rich resources.
Launching probe.
Dude, this planet has just so much going on. Wonderful. Look at that.
Probe launched.
Alkanost. Alkanost is a standard ice giant with a methane ammonia atmosphere. It has unusually strong magnetic field, which is occasionally useful when ships need to discharge their drives. Did you also just add the retro-looking design too? Looks sweet. Yep, today we had new merch that dropped. And the theme for this merch drop is Retro Summers, so yeah, all designs are created by me. Gamayan is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with 6 large icy moons. The outermost one, Gigula, is of note for a well-preserved wreckage of an ancient starship that was recovered by a Turian military surveyor. Little information has been released to the public on the vessel, aside from a scholarly paper regarding how the internal layout suggests a horizontally oriented race. Interesting. DMing you on Discord, right? Yes. Cold distance or near Zernitra has an extremely low density and is thought to be mainly water ice around a small rocky core. It has little to recommend it. Okie dokie. And to Pragia. The jungle planet Pragia is overrun by choking hypergrowth caused by industrially mutated plant species. This, combined with its relative isolation and lack of population, has made Pragia an occasional base of operations for drug runners, weapon smugglers, pirates, mercenaries, terrorists, and intelligence agents seeking secrecy. Sustained habitation on Pragia is extremely difficult, where mutant and even poisonous plant life can overgrow colonies in days instead of years. Let's go. Glad you like it, Munchie. All right, so we got to take Jack. Definitely not going to take Miranda. We got to take whoever we think is going to be a good fit for Jack. Because this is going to be a super sensitive mission for her. I'm almost inclined to bring Samara because she's got just like a very calming presence. And I think that's probably what Jack is going to need. Garrus might not be too bad of a play either. Because I think Garrus can sort of like, you know, stay chill. I don't know. What do you think, chat? Samara or Garrus? Who would you go with? I could go with either one. I like sort of the motherly feel that Samara has. And then there's the, you know, kind of the chill... You know, knows how to deal with bureaucratic bullshit, Garrus. I don't know that any of the other ones are the ones that I would want to take. Nope, that's good, Super Chip. I'll get it sent to you after stream tonight. All right, we'll take Samara. Samara was my initial gut reaction, so let's take her. She's also a strong biotic, so that might be helpful here. She'll maybe understand a little bit about what's going on. Okay, pull field. All right, Samara. Sorry, Justicar. Oh man, I wish we had Reeve. Throw is useful though. And Jack. Primal Adept. Shockwave. I actually think Pull is probably the better thing to use for her. Well, maybe not. We'll go Shockwave. Pull's probably better than Warp Ammo. All right.
forgot how much I hate this place. See the landing pad? Has to be on the roof, or the vegetation would overgrow it in a few hours.
Shepard, I am picking up thermal signatures everywhere, except at your landing zone.
Something's distorting the sensors.
This was a secret Cerberus facility.
Yeah, they build their equipment to last. Assholes. It was a mistake coming back here, Shepard.
Deep down, Jack is a scared and deeply insecure child, because she never had consistency growing up. She knew nothing but torture. She knew nothing but being used. So she talks a really big game. And then us coming down and actually coming to the planet per her request, she probably didn't expect that we would actually do this for her, for one. And now that we're finally here, that fear, that childlike insecurity, all the trauma that's drummed up by being near this facility is coming out, which is why she's saying it's a mistake coming back here. We're going to be chill with her. We are going to remind ourselves that even if she comes off as brash, that she is coming from a very insecure, afraid place, and that's okay. It's to be expected. This was a very traumatic place for her to hang out.
When we start a mission, we finish it.
Yeah, okay. Let's get on the ground.
Love the water effects on my armor.
Let's just get in there and plant the bomb in myself. I want to watch this place burn.
Should be a deeply hard position for Jack to be in, man. She put up, this is literally the physical location of all the trauma she suffered as a kid. I wouldn't be surprised if she dissociated, if she had flashbacks. Like, we're going to see the way that trauma affected Jack in the way that she goes through this, would be my guess. Like, if I was trying to prepare for this. Does she become aggressive? Does she take control? Does she question things? Does she become incredibly subordinate? We have no way of knowing how she's going to react.
This room. I think they brought new kids in these containers. They were messed up and starving, but alive. Usually.
This is unbelievable.
I will say, as a heads up, if discussions of like childhood trauma and stuff is a particularly sensitive topic and you find yourself starting to feel your gut get wrenched in a way that doesn't feel comfortable to continue hanging out here, I totally understand. I want to make sure that you take care of yourself if that applies. If you want to come back and watch the VOD when you feel a little bit more comfortable, that's totally okay. This mission is probably going to lead to some discussions that might hit pretty hard for certain people that are in chat or if you're watching the VOD or whatnot. I just want to give a little bit of a heads up because Jack really did go through some shit. I don't normally like to preface missions like this, but in the current space that we have and being a mental health oriented channel and stuff like that, I do want to make sure that I give you all a heads up. So if you find that you're like, you'll probably be okay, but if you find that you're just getting uncomfortable, if it's stirring some stuff up for you, if you're thinking about maybe some of your own trauma that you might have experienced as a kid when we're having these conversations and you need to step away, by all means do that. I take absolutely no offense to that.
The elusive man requested operation logs again. He's getting suspicious.
When we get results, he won't care what we did. But if he knew...
He won't find out. The elusive man requested operation logs again. He's getting suspicious.
Sounds as if this facility turned rogue.
He didn't say what they were hiding from the elusive man.
He did not.
I remember escaping to this room, fighting here. I saw sunlight through the cracks in the ceiling. Only a half-dead guard between me and freedom. He was begging for his life.
So Jack escaped this area. Jack was brought in as patient 0. Jack is thought to be the most powerful biotic human there is. She has L7 implants, and she was tested. Many, many tests were run on her when she was a kid because they were trying to figure out the biotic potential of humans. And there was a revolt that happened here, and she fought her way out. She wanted to come back here to basically, like, encapsulate some demons. And so that's exactly what we're going to do. Good night, Taco. Is that a Varen? Why are there Varen here?
New victims.
My shields are down.
This will occupy them. Down!
But Varen are tough when they're in packs like that. Indeed, Pai Pai. Old bloodstain.
This looks like an arena.
That's right. They used to stage fights here. Pit me against other kids. I loved it. Only time I was ever out of my cell.
What were they studying?
Hell if I know. Maybe that's how they got their kicks. I never understood anything that happened here.
How often did they do this?
I was in a cell my whole life. Sometimes they took me out and made me fight. Filled me with drugs, other stuff. Time gets funny in a cell.
Did other children die in these fights?
I was a kid, filled with drugs. I got shocked when I hesitated. Narcotics flooded my veins when I attacked.
What that means is that Jack got literal biological reward for attacking and killing. They actually made it so that she received biological stimulation in the form of narcotics that would basically encourage her to continue. And when you're a kid, you have no way of understanding that. Even an adult would be susceptible to that. But to do that to a child, force them against their own sensibilities, to reward them not just necessarily like with social reward, but with actual biological reward for doing that, is going to create an override, and she's going to have absolutely no understanding of what's going on other than she's being rewarded to do this. She does not have the contextual understanding as a kid to understand that all of this stuff is wrong. She may feel it in a way that's not comfortable, but they were throwing in all sorts of overrides to get her to continue to do their bidding. This is an example of adults being terrible and ruining a child's life as a result of it.
They actually rewarded you for attacking?
I still get warm feelings during a fight.
Pavlovian response, right there. She has been conditioned in such a way that when she fights, she associates it with a stimulus that no longer even has to be brought into her. This is the dog salivating. She had narcotics and endorphin rushes and all these things associated with fighting, and now that she can actually do those fights and will continue to get that rush because her body is associated with it. She also may, indirectly, if she receives a endorphin blast of her own, whether it's through, like, I don't know, like physical intimacy or excitement about something, it may also trigger a conditioned response to be aggressive and to fight. Partially why maybe she fights when she experiences emotional closeness. Conditioning doesn't always go in one way. It goes in two ways. When we talk about conditioning in this format, we're talking about associations between two unrelated stimuli. So just because she was encouraged to fight by being given a narcotic burst, that often will mean that if she gets something that feels similar to a narcotic burst, whatever she's associating with it at that time may lead to an act of aggression toward it. It's gross. It's really bad.
What the hell was wrong with those people?
I don't know. Doesn't matter now.
Let's keep moving.
Hell yes.
Jack's behavior is incredibly explainable. I remember being a 17-year-old kid playing this game and being like, damn, Jack seems complex, but I have no idea how to make sense out of her character. Now that I'm a therapist and spent so much time sort of like learning about human development and all the stuff I do as a therapist, her character is incredibly well written, and it's very, very easy to understand why she does what she does. The way that you clean that from your brain is you have to reassociate other stimuli to those things, and it's a long process. This is where, I mean, with a person like Jack, we're really talking about a long period of time with very intense therapy that she'd have to be open to. It's very hard to unwire that stuff. It is possible, though. You just have to create new neural pathways. You have to create new reinforcement mechanisms, et cetera, et cetera. And she has to be intentional in the way that she actually like analyzes it as it's happening.
Security Officer Zimkel, Telton facility. The subjects are out of their cells. They're tearing the place up. Subject 0 is going to get loose. I need permission to terminate. I repeat, permission to terminate.
All subjects besides 0 are expendable. Keep Jack alive.
Understood. I'll begin the...
That's not right. I broke out when my guards disappeared. I started that riot.
That's the story she has about this, but, you know, you never know. There could be more to it.
Things might have happened that you didn't see.
The other kids attacked me, the guards attacked me, the automated systems attacked me. That doesn't leave lots of room for interpretation.
Wonder if that's how fetishes develop? There are various theories about how fetishes develop that are sort of interesting. I won't go into them now, but yes, it can be. It certainly can be how they're reinforced.
This place is supposed to be empty. Who the fuck shot that Baron? It's a fresh kill.
It would probably be more intense than CBT, Rupin, so you would need to have an emotional component to it. But certain tenets of CBT could work. Hey, Mick, I kind of have a weird question. I have an internal issues using online therapist sessions. Example, sometimes the person I need to talk about work issues about my roommate in the next room. Last time I tried to get a therapist, they said they weren't offering in-office sessions yet. That was like 6 months ago. I'm now fully vaccinated. Haven't heard anything about this supposed wait list for appointments. Any suggestions of what I should do? Reach back out. Just reach back out and ask, Erwin. Like, hey, are you taking in-person appointments yet? Would really love to get in if you are. And also, can I get a status on your wait list? That person should tell you. Also helps us know you're still interested. A lot of times I'll call people off my wait list and they'll say, yeah, I already found somebody. So, just ask. Somebody else here, huh? There are Vorcha here. Okie dokie. Why are there Vorcha? And a Krogan? What? The Blood Pack is here. Did that to get shields. Move, Shepard. Do.
I will hold. It's me.
All right. Get down, Shepard. Oh boy. This is not good. If that Vorcha gets here, why don't we go ahead and yank that guy? And we're gonna charge this one so I can get my shield. Oh shit. What's up, fellas?
Why'd they need a morgue? This was a small facility.
I fear the other children died in great numbers. Even then, they were a part of the experiment.
Bullshit. I had the worst of it, and I made it out alive.
Yeah, you did indeed, Jack. I don't know that necessarily makes the other kids weak, though. Alrighty. Let's go. Unless I can go up here. Think maybe I can? Oh, blocked off. Wall's getting a little thicker. Sure is. So I can buy everybody an all-inclusive beach vacation when we get done with this game, man. You know? We've been going through a lot of shit as a squad.
So strange to be back here. I feel like I'm pissed off. I'm a dangerous bitch. But then I'm a little girl again. Shit. It's complicated. Let's just go plant that bomb.
Yep. Not surprised at all, Jack. Your brain is probably on massive hypervigilance in the same way it was when you were a kid.
It's about to get fun. I'll take cover there. Final hot. Watch the landing.
Man, there were children kept in these cells, chat. That is awful.
I take you.
Whoa! Adults literally made the decision to keep kids in these cells. Look at this shit, man. Oh, boy.
They kept children in this place?
Not great.
It's a two-way mirror. My son's on the other side. I could see all the other kids out here. I screamed at them for hours, and they always ignored me.
Oh my god. So the kids couldn't see in here, but Jack's cell is on the other side of this, and Jack would try to get the attention of people, and none of them heard. That is... Oh. I know, seriously, Fictioneer, it's really hard to work with Cerberus when you see what they've done. It's really, really bad.
I must have come through here when I broke out, but I don't remember it. This is a bad place.
In theory, is it possible to get rid of a fetish? Yes. I don't have any tips for you, Honey Bunny. I would recommend that you talk to a certified sex therapist. They could help you with that. I don't really have any, like, if it's linked to trauma and stuff like that, there's nothing I'm going to be able to say to help, unfortunately. But yes, it is possible. It's just, it might take some time. Also, when Jack just said this is a bad place, I know this is me nitpicking a little bit, but this is an example of how Jack's childlike psyche is going to come in. You know, Jack has a lot of complexity to the way that she talks, but then you throw her in here and all of a sudden she's qualifying things as being bad, right? Like very simple. This is a bad place. And that just speaks to the fact that her brain is potentially in more of a childlike state while she's sitting in here. Watch for the ways in which your language changes when you're in certain circumstances and in certain places. It's old patterns come back based on context. We learn things and our brain makes associations whether we want them to or not. It's a very interesting little tidbit there to point out.
Business now. Pleasure later.
Thank you, Rainbow Fish, for the 5 months. Appreciate you.
Entry 1054, Telton Facility. The latest iteration of Pergnim went poorly. Subjects 1, 4, and 6 died. No biotic change among the survivors. We lowered core temperatures of surviving subjects, but no biotically beneficial reactions occurred. As a side effect, all subjects died. So we'll not try that on Zero. I hope our supply of biotic potential subjects holds up. We are going through them fast.
This is bullshit. They weren't experimenting on the other children for my safety.
No, they weren't. Well, maybe they were. They were experimenting on other children so that they knew what they could use on you, which is absolutely has the capacity to potentially lead to a sense of survivor's guilt if Jack takes it in that direction. But what a terrible piece of information to learn, that there were a bunch of kids that died because they didn't want to hurt her, even though they were hurting her through all the torture that they were doing. This is hard enough for an adult to understand, let alone a child to understand. But this isn't your fault, Jack.
You can't help what they did to others.
You don't get it, Shepard. I survived this place because I was tougher than the rest. That's who I am.
You move on, harder and tougher.
Jack needs to have a narrative that she was strong and that she's the one that got out of it, because what it allows her to do is hold on to a sense of control in that moment. Her only control in this space was to get out of it and to see herself as strong. So being presented with alternative data that suggests that other kids died so she could stay alive and that they did not want to kill her goes directly counter to her survivor narrative. She is not going to be particularly open to that, because if she engages with that, it opens her up to a whole host of dissonance that I don't know that her trauma is going to allow her to arrive at. So we're seeing that her trauma narrative and her survivor narrative around this is, I am strong, I got out, it was in my control to leave, there's no way that anybody else here helped me. And we're going to have to be careful with the ways in which we empathize with maybe the fact that that wasn't true, because that may actually cause more harm than good. At the end of the day, she got out. And that's really what matters.
I'll take it.
It's all fallen to pieces. The subjects are rampaging and Zero is loose. We're shutting Telton down. What a disaster. We'll infiltrate and piggyback onto the Alliance's Ascension program. Hopefully, that will give... Who, what? Zero, wait!
Shepard, they started up somewhere else.
Ascension is an Alliance program. It's a school for biotic kids. They don't torture children there.
A lot of this isn't the way I remember it.
Of course not. You were a kid.
You couldn't have known.
Maybe. We're getting close to my cell, the place I came from. Let's keep going.
None of this is what I remember it. That's very vulnerable for me to experience and to say out loud. Shepard comes in with the soft tone. She says maybe and pushes him away. It's organized attachment, as I talked about in the previous video. Closeness is coupled with pain. She's gonna kick me out every time I try to come in close on that. I have to be careful with how I navigate that.
Hey, Aresh. It's Kira. Yeah, the intruders are here. You want them dead? We have to talk credits. You promised us lots of salvage, but this place is a waste. Fine, we'll put them down. Then I'm coming in there and we're gonna talk salvage.
Why are you here? Like, what are you doing here? I just heard your phone call, but why are you here?
What are you doing here?
First, we're gonna kill you. Then we'll see. Kill them on my order.
I mean, is this really the way we had to do this, fellas? I would argue no. Samara, stay right there.
Right.
Get down.
Tighten up. I want suppression and I want it now.
My money. I need it now.
Toy!
Bring it on.
They're closing in. This will occupy them.
All left is my old cell. Whoever Aresh is, he's in there. I want to plant the bomb there anyway. Might as well do it on his corpse.
All right, we're blowing this place to smithereens. That's why Jack's here. He wants the closure of knowing that this place probably can't hurt anybody else ever again if it's blown off the face of the earth. But first, let's get as much money out of here as we can, you know? I guess, yeah, okay, blown off the face of Pragia. Thank you. I stand corrected. You are correct, Chad. We are literally about to walk into a space that Jack was trapped in when she was a child and was tortured and was subject to a bunch of nonsense. This is one hell of a moment. You want to talk about reprocessing trauma? So here's the thing. I know this is a little bit idealistic because we're actually walking into the place where the trauma happened. But as a person who, you know, as a therapist who occasionally works with trauma, this is a really huge moment here. She is going to walk into this room, and her brain is very likely going to light up in the way that it did when she was a kid. And she is going to get sucked into all of the automatic thoughts, all of the vigilance, all the everything that goes on. Now, she's an adult now, so she has a little bit of a capacity to cognitively override this. But when we talk about reprocessing in trauma work, one of the things that we're talking about is that in tandem with emotional desensitization. It doesn't mean that you're not acknowledging your emotion, but it means that when we walk in this room, we are going to be prepared for what the emotional intensity of walking into that room is going to be. And then we are going to use that as an opportunity to engage our adult brain to reprocess that space in a way that is more empowering to you, and is a way that does not perpetuate the trauma and the effect that it has on your psyche and on the way in which you process the world around you. It's a very delicate situation. You would never do this right away. You would build up to it. But Jack is about to have that moment. And if you're a therapist in this type of situation, you are prepared for, and you have hopefully done your assessment on what the person's orientation to the trauma is in terms of what's likely to happen, whether it's dissociation, aggression, etc., so that we can intercept that and we can use the tools that we've built up until this point where we re-engaged it. That's why you do not go in and immediately dig in and try to uncover unprocessed memories and shit like that, because the client, in this case Jack, is not ready for that. But she's been doing the work, and here we are, and let's see what happens in this moment.
Come out. We know you're here.
Who are you?
My name is Aresh, and you're breaking into my home. I know you, Subject Zero. So many years have passed, and I thought I was the only survivor.
My name is Jack. How the hell do you know me?
We all knew your face, Jack. They inflicted horrors on us so their experiments wouldn't kill you. You were the question, and I'm still looking for the answer.
So remember what I said about how this is going against her narrative? If we acknowledge that this guy might be like her, this is going to be dicey, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to engage with Jack so that she stays present here as opposed to getting wrapped up in the emotion of this moment.
Looks like you're not the only one pulled back here, Jack.
I tried to forget this, but a place like this, it doesn't forget you. It follows you. I hired these mercs and came back almost a solar year ago. We're rebuilding it piece by piece. I'm gonna find out what they knew, how to unlock true biotic potential in humans. I'm restarting the Telton facility. It will be beautiful.
I wanted a hole in the ground. He's trying to justify what happened by using it?
Ooh, that's an interesting way to take control of it, man. Oh!
You do the same thing to new kids? Wasn't this forced on you?
Some were bought from poor families on Earth or kidnapped from colonies. Most ended up here the way I did. Batarian pirates. They did such horrible things to us. They must have had good reasons.
There's no reason good enough. Are you nuts? You
Oh. So this guy experienced the same trauma. The way that he made sense of this trauma is to say that his captors must have had good reason for doing it. This is the complexity of trauma, friends. People can experience the same traumatic events and process it entirely different. This happened to me. I had no control. The only control I have is the narrative that I create. And if I'm going to create a meaningful narrative, maybe, just maybe, the people that are doing this to me have reason to do it, and I'm part of a bigger purpose. And this is the way that I can make sense of this in a way that allows me to survive. We look at this as survival. I don't know that we would look at this as Stockholm Syndrome, because Stockholm Syndrome would suggest that this person sort of like aligns with and, you know, falls in, not just falls in love with, but like sort of like becomes enthralled with their captors in a certain way. This is making sense of the moment in a way that's going to work for him and help him survive. Now as an adult with the opportunity to maybe reprocess a bit, it's very odd that he would say, you know what, I'm going to take that and I'm going to try to perpetuate that sense of purpose. The very thing that allowed me to survive this place and recreate it. Yeesh. But Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, there's a diversity to the way that people process trauma. Not all things are traumatic for people. And now we're seeing a difference here. Very interesting.
This place was like a prison. How did you get out?
We all attacked at once as they were taking us to the lab. They would have put us down. But then Jack got loose. When I came to, it was over. The guards, the scientists, and the kids were all dead. And you were gone.
I stopped it. All of it. Maybe the others did have it bad, but what you're doing is just messed.
Everything we went through must have been worth something.
This is arguably not the same conversation we had yesterday about keeping the data. This is a person taking the data and saying we are going to use that data to conduct further pain. This isn't saying we have the data to make sense of and let's make better decisions going forward. This guy's saying let's start this shit back up and get it back going again. There's a difference between holding on to data and then making destructive decisions with that data. We took the data last night and we didn't take that data and say, all right, let's start this shit up and kill more Krogan. We said, let's have the data, analyze what we got. This very well could be the same thing. Let's analyze what we got, right? What we learned is that this was traumatic for a bunch of kids and not great. And now you're trying to start this shit back up again because you think there was some greater purpose? This guy doesn't even know what the purpose is. This guy's going off of a hunch that there was a greater purpose to this. That is not a good template through which you would want to use whatever data there was, because he clearly doesn't even know what the data is. He just thinks that it exists. There's a difference there.
We can blow up the place, but that still leaves him. What do we do with another you?
That's easy.
Just leave me here. This is where I belong.
Fuck that.
Jack, he's trapped in his past. You need to move on from yours.
He wants to restart this place. He needs to die.
He's crazy, and he's never gonna restart this facility. You have to let it go. Your past doesn't have to control you.
Fuck. Get out of here. Go.
That's the reprocessing.
He's not worth chasing. None of it is.
That right there is how you reprocess in that moment. She's taking it. She's going to kill that guy. She's going, whoop, the emotion of it. No, Jack, take control. You get to control how you navigate this space. It does not have to control you. Use what you have learned to make that decision. And she did it. And as a result, we are going to reinforce the shit out of that and make sure that she feels held and comfortable and acknowledged and reinforced for the decision that she just made, because she just acted on a way of reprocessing a traumatic space that she was in for a very long time. That is huge. Is monumentally huge.
You did the right thing, Jack.
Maybe. This room was my whole childhood. Give me a minute to look around.
Go ahead.
Nothing's changed, but it's all different. I thought that room out there was the rest of the world. I'd pound and yell. Never did any good.
All right, so now what we're doing is we're taking control and reprocessing the space. If I was with her, I would say, like, if I was like a therapist in this space, I'd say, okay, so what do you make of that now, Jack? So as a kid, you looked at this as a view to the outside world. What do you see this as now? What does this mean for you? How are you feeling? We'd be constantly checking in with her as we're doing this. What's it like to look out of this glass like this? Tell me what the automatic thoughts are, and tell me what it is that you actually want to make meaning out of in this space.
Sometimes I dream that I'm back in this bed being tortured. I used to tie the sheets around my wrists and try to rip them off. I want to stop coming back here.
Yep. So that's the way. So the way that we stop coming back here is to reprocess the mental image and space that she has in her mind, right? Her coming back here physically to reprocess it is super important, because it also affects the way she's going to carry it with her in her mind, so that it has less control over her. She controls the narrative. It does not control her. Trauma has a way of making people feel like they're being controlled by whatever trauma has thrust upon them. We want to help people regain a sense of empowerment and control of what it is that happened to them, because trauma's not fair.
I used this table for everything. It was like my best friend. I'd crawl under it to cry. I was pathetic.
No, you were not, but we're not going to touch that right now. Is that all of it? Seems like it may be.
See the scarring on the wall here? That's where I killed my first man. One of the guards tried to stop me. Instead, I stopped him. Okay, no more wallowing. Let's blow this place to hell.
Hell of a bomb we had. Would Jack coming back there be considered exposure therapy? It would probably be considered the 10th level of a exposure hierarchy. Yes. We very likely, if she was actually in therapy, King, what we would have done is worked her through an exposure hierarchy to the point where when she walked into that cell, she would have handled it very similarly to the way she did. But yes, we would see that as being the end result of a long form exposure. It would not be the first thing that we would do. That's up to her, Idiogram, right? Like we can find a gray area in the middle. It's probably both. It's not that she was weak, and it's not that other people were spared for her. It's that both things are true. She's strong, and there were kids that died in order to make sure that she didn't. She, as an adult, has to work through the dissonance of that. Basically, an expansion of the story she has about what went on. Just because it's not a black and white thing. They aren't, in tandem with each other. It's not like if you were weak, then it was because of the other people dying. It's not if you were strong, it's because they didn't. It's a both and humans don't like both ands. We don't really like sitting in gray areas because cognitive dissonance is very uncomfortable for our brain. It's in some ways it's evolutionarily dangerous. So we try to hurry up and simplify things into a way that we can understand it so that we can act and survive. Facility on Pragia confirmed destroyed. Concerned that previous cleanup crew failed to destroy all records. Surviving facility scientists already dead, either from uprising or other facility shutdown. Jack should have no further emotional issues distracting her from the mission. I mean, I don't know how anybody.
Jack and Miranda are in the middle of a disagreement. Can you head it off before they tear out a bulkhead?
I'll deal with it.
Take pictures.
Touch me and I will smear the walls with you, bitch!
Enough! Stand down, both of you.
The cheerleader won't admit what Cerberus did to me was wrong.
It wasn't Cerberus. Not really. But clearly you were a mistake.
Screw you! You've got no idea what they put me through. Maybe it's time I showed you.
Boy.
The people I recruit are my business, Miranda. You leave Jack alone.
She can't be trusted, Shepard. She's unstable. She's jeopardizing the mission.
Jack's doing just fine. Maybe you should take a look at your own attitude.
My thoughts exactly.
Are we good?
Not even remotely.
I don't care. Fuck off. You're gonna come over here and start causing shit, tell Jack she was a mistake after she just did all that work? Absolutely not. You are not entitled to that bullshit. I understand it's a distraction. I understand that Paragon option was there, but no way in hell. If I go into that room, Miranda knows exactly what that mission was. How dare you? Everybody on the mission, when we went and did yours, nobody gave you shit. I respected the decision you made. Nobody gave you a hard time. You went and leaked the information to Jacob, and then you're gonna come here and you're gonna say to Jack that she's all fucked up and that she's a problem and that Cerberus, you don't understand? Fuck off. I don't care. You get some tough love here, man. I don't have any respect for that in any way, shape, or form. Jack doesn't bother her. Calling you a cheerleader, whatever. But like, you do not jeopardize the crew by going in and doing that shit. I don't care if we're bad. I don't care. I don't care. That said, we're gonna walk in here and see what's going on.
I have work to do, Commander. Go chat with your friend Jack if you want small talk.
Man, I wish I had this one. I really wish I had this one. You need to get the fuck over yourself, Miranda. I mean, Chad, I don't get activated like this very often, but I have such low tolerance for this bullshit. Such low tolerance. Give me a chance and do whatever. No. Be the better woman here.
Miranda, do you really think I wanted to take Jack's side in this? We need her, and we need her happy.
So taking Jack's side was just a front?
No.
Jack needs special attention. You know that.
Ooh, no! No!
I understand. You did what you had to
No.
Shut up, Shepard. I should have known you were focused on the mission. Every time I think I've got you figured out.
Oh, fuck me. That is not at all what I wanted Shepard to say there. Not even remotely close to what I wanted him to say there.
I'll let you work.
Of course, Commander.
That is... No. No. Oh, no. I couldn't choose the Renegade. I'm not going to reload it. My intentions were sound. I mean, I'm basically telling her what she needed to hear. We're going to have to headcanon this, chat. I mean, I very much agree, Jake. Like, we have to headcanon this. I said that to Miranda to get her to cool the hell off because I need her for the mission. Like, I do need her. So if that's what she needed to hear and I fudged it a little bit, I fudged her. That was so gross, though. That is not at all what I expected him to say. I wanted the Renegade option there. I really did want the Renegade option there. The Paragon one is gross. Now I want to go talk to Jack. I really hope this doesn't screw up the way I talk to Jack here. Fun fact, in 10 times of playing through the trilogy here, I have never done that. I've never seen that option, so I had no idea what to expect there. I literally had no idea what he was going to say, and I did not think it was that. Son of a bitch, man. That was so gross. What I really should have done if I'd have thought about it there, you know what's interesting? I'm going to give you a little insight there. My emotions got the best of me there. My emotions said go right in and charge in and deal with this. And instead, what I really should have done is I should have gone and talked to Jack. I should have checked in with Jack and said, how are you doing? And then gone up and talked to Miranda. And basically said to Jack, look, I gotta have everybody on the mission. I respect very much I know where you're coming from. I've got your back on this. I gotta tell Miranda some shit she wants to hear because I need her for the mission and I need you to respect that. I don't need you to hang out with her. I don't need you engaging with her, but know that I got your back here. Like, I might have done that. I could load from a checkpoint, but we're just gonna live with it.
I needed to wipe that place off the map. You took me there to do it, and I owe you. You don't know what it's like, Shepard, to have garbage like that following you. It marks you in ways you don't expect.
What a stupid... like, these two options suck. Here's why these two options suck. Obviously, this one sucks. Get over yourself. Really? I'm going to say that to somebody who's opening up after we just went through a traumatic end? No. I do know. Also invalidating. I would much rather say, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't know your experience. Can you tell me more about it? That is what I would say. Not I do know. Terrible option here.
I've made a lot of hard choices, Jack. Like what to let go.
Hard to walk away from it. You'd think it would get easier now that the place is a crater. But what else do I know?
Nala, good to see you.
I never thought I'd see you show mercy, but you let a Resh live.
He was trapped in the past, reliving it every day. You showed how that could be me. I'm not getting stuck like that. I'm better than him, and I'm sure as hell not carrying that crater around with me.
Do you think you're different now?
I know that place is gone, but I still kind of want to kill every person I see. No offense.
This is too much. Okay. We gotta go meta here for a second. Remember, we've talked about Jack is very dicey. We are in a moment of vulnerability here. Jack, for her entire life, has associated vulnerability and the response to vulnerability as having an ulterior motive. Me saying to her right now, I wanted to help you, is way too intense. I am not using this opportunity of vulnerability to share and express what she may perceive as more vulnerability than it actually is. And I certainly do not want her getting an idea that I have any kind of ulterior motive in wanting to help her. Like, if I say I wanted to help you, it makes this about me. And I do not want to make this about me. This is about Jack and her journey that she went on. Her reprocessing of the place that she went to, or the place that she comes from. If I say I wanted to help you, it makes it sound like this was about me and a decision that I made, and I'm taking away from it in a point of vulnerability, and that is not fair to her. So I'm going to acknowledge what she just said, that this is a start, and I'm really glad to hear that.
I'll take what I can get with you, Jack.
You did a lot, Shepard. Shit. I'm not good at this soft stuff. Just... thanks, okay? Let's get back to work.
You got it, Jack.
Hey.
I should go.
Okay, talk later.
Ooh, she softened a little bit in her goodbye. She didn't just say, yeah. She said, okay, we'll talk later. And it sure is, Pi Pi. You bet your ass it is.
Shepard.
Just checking in. How you doing?
I'm branching out. Got a list of enemies now. They all give me joy when I picture cutting them, crushing them. There's this one imprint, a Solarian with the... what are they? The things on his head pulled apart? Bet it caused a generation of revenge. What is that, a few weeks for them? So what did you want?
Save some for our enemy. I actually want to say this. I don't want to say, are you even trying to get better? That's way too combative. Save some for our enemies, dude.
Don't wear yourself out on someone else's memories. We've got our own bad guys to fight.
Your enemies are my enemies. We'll shove the Collector's claws where a dark sun can't shine, and they will deserve it. I won't disrespect their strength by doing less than the worst to them.
That's exactly what we need, brother.
That's the kind of thinking that will save a galaxy.
You make it possible, Shepard. You're my battle master. You give me purpose. That's what makes Krogan feared soldiers and not animals. Lead well, Shepard. You have my respect.
Hell yeah! Let's go! Yes! Yeah! Again, aggression, man. You take Grunt for what he's got. Oh, absolutely. I'm not sitting here. I'm not gonna challenge him. I'm not gonna give him a hard time for that. Cool. Let's use that energy, man. We got shit to do. Hell yeah. I get confirmation from him that he enjoys my leadership. I'll take it, man. I will take it.
Gabby, you'd say the Normandy is a she, not a he, right?
Of course. The Normandy's the sweetest girl there is.
And Edie's a she. Tally's definitely a she.
What are you getting at, Kenneth?
I'm just saying I'm feeling a wee bit threatened here. A lot of female energy, and I'm just one man.
You're such a dick.
See? Look where your mind went. I've got to watch out for myself.
All right. What did Shepard shake? I'm not sure what you're asking, James.
Shepard, what can I do for you?
Also, Adrian, thank you for the kind words. I really like the way you're playing this and explaining your therapist's thoughts to us. It adds a whole other dimension to the game that I just could not possibly get playing on my own. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is what I think makes this run unique that I bring, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. Gotta say, the way you analyze games makes me wonder what I'm missing in other games I play. Well, I mean, I guess if you watch me play games that maybe you've played before, you might see. But, I mean, you got to remember, I've spent many, many, many years thinking about this stuff. This is my wheelhouse, thinking about human relationships and stuff like this. So, this is what I spent a lot of time and money trying to learn how to do. This isn't just sort of like natural ability or anything like that. I mean, some of it, I guess, is. But it's a lot of fun to bring this to you all. I'm glad that you enjoy it. And I really do want to say to all of you, like, thank you for being here. Thanks for supporting what I do and coming back for all these runs and engaging with this in the way that we do and keeping chat spoiler free. I'm glad. I've been talking to Sean and Jared about this, and I haven't, maybe I have shared it a little bit, but I'll share it with all of you right now because we're kind of talking about it. When I started playing Skyrim, that marked a change in direction for the channel, and I think all of you probably felt it. So you can expect here going forward into the future that we are going to play a lot of story games like this, where I am going to bring my perspective on a lot of the stuff, like on these story games. I'm going to try to use games to illustrate some of these things maybe in a way that makes this stuff more approachable for people. So there are a lot of story games in our future. We're going to have a lot of fun going forward, and I'm really excited to bring you all along for the journey of where we go in these story games, because these are absolute blast to play. I love it. It's kind of the perfect mix of everything that I wanted when I started the channel, and it's pretty great. So thank you for supporting it. The fact that all of you continue to come out and you say nice things and you follow me on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. You know, tell people about what I do. If you enjoy it, if you think there's other people that would enjoy it, tell them about this. But I really am glad that you all support it. It's why I do what I do. And if you learn a little something from these videos and from these tidbits that come out of these moments in the game, that's awesome. I've done my job.
Have you got time to talk?
Sure. Let me just come on, you little boshtet. Oh, sorry. I've got a small fever and I'm taking it out on the poor drive core. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. Got sloppy while doing some suit repair.
You're sick? Do you need help or time to rest?
Really, it's not that bad. If a stray bit of bacteria could really kill us, we'd have all died by now. The fever should go away in a day or two. Don't worry, it won't affect my performance on the mission. It's not even an illness, really. What we experience is actually an acute allergic reaction.
How exactly does the sickness work? It's an allergic reaction?
Right. Say I get exposed to a human disease, like, what did Navigator Presley have that time? Chickenpox? I wouldn't get chickenpox, but I'd run a fever as my system reacted to the foreign presence. Depending on where it hits me, I could get other symptoms. Nausea, vomiting, everything you'd expect from being sick.
How did you get sick this time?
I took some fire in a fight back on the Allerai. Nothing serious, but I needed to open my suit to check the wound. I disinfected properly, but one of the section seals had taken some damage, and foreign matter got out of the disinfected zone. It was a stupid mistake. You always check your seals before doing local treatment. Unless you forget. Then you get a damn fever.
You can seal off part of your suit?
Right. Like dropping emergency doors on a ship during a hull breach. It won't stop an infection that gets into my bloodstream, but it prevents a surface infection from spreading.
You can seal off part of your suit?
Right. Like dropping emergency doors on a ship during a hull breach. It won't stop an infection that gets into my bloodstream, but it prevents a surface infection from
Were
spreading.
your immune system stronger before the Geth drove you from your homeworld?
Not as strong as those of most races, definitely. I'm not a biologist, but there's a theory about it. Because our planet lacked insect life, plants developed symbiotic relationships with large animals to spread seeds or pollen. Most viruses on our world were partially beneficial, so our immune systems evolved to be weak. They were more likely to adapt to contamination than fight it.
But Quarians colonized other worlds. They couldn't all have been like that.
They weren't. Most colonists went through a period of mild illness before adapting to the new environment. When the Geth took the homeworld and our colonies, the sterile environment on the flotilla ruined our immune system's adaptability. Even if we colonized a new world or reclaimed our own, we'd need a long process of bioengineering to recover.
I don't know if I could live inside a suit my whole life.
We are in our suits even among family. The most intimate thing we can do with another Quarian is link our suit environments. We get sick at first and then we adapt. It's our most important gesture of trust, of acceptance. I haven't trusted anyone enough for that, though, except... well, no Quarians. You know what I mean.
I appreciate the thought, Tally, and I feel the same way. But you don't have to prove anything to me.
I know. Well, not that I know, but I didn't mean it like that. It's a... wow, it's really hot in here. It's just that the tradition also signifies a willingness for, intimacy. I wasn't trying to... It's not always like that. It's more... how did we even end up talking about this?
Wait a minute. It sounds like you're suggesting something, Tally.
What could I possibly be suggesting? I mean, a young woman gets rescued by a dashing commander who lets her join his crew and then goes off to save the galaxy? How could she possibly develop any kind of interest in him?
This mission will be risky enough. I can't jeopardize your health for that. No matter how much I'd like to.
But you'd like to? Good to know. Anyway, I should get back to work. But thanks for coming by and talking.
I mean, come on. Duh. You kidding me? You kidding me? A little too dangerous, though. I don't know the risks. Never been with a Quarian before. I don't even know what that means. No idea what it means. I know nothing of human Quarian companionship. I can tell you right now, though, that if there was anybody on this ship that I would like to have long-term companionship with, it would probably be Tally. As much as I love Arya T'Loak, pretty sure Arya's not going to be into it. So, you know, she's endearing. Oh man.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Does Liara appear in the game? I was always a fan of romancing her. Liara does. We met her on Ilium. We did a mission for her. We actually helped her find the Shadow Broker, and she became the Shadow Broker. That was from, I think, 3 sessions ago, if you're interested in that. Yes, she was in this game. She's not on the Normandy, though. Thank you. From Leslie. I'm Leslie. I was on Aya. The food made me sick. The doctors are helping me now. One doctor knows Jacob. He says he can tell you this. He could write this for me, but I want to do it. I need to use my words. My words are coming back. I can talk well. Reading is hard, but I'm getting better. I have to get better. Taylor wanted me like this. He wanted my words gone. I have to show him that he lost. I'm not weak. He did things to me, and he can't now. He can't take away my words. He can't make me not me anymore, because you and Jacob stopped him. Thank you. Listen. We're currently on Mass Effect 2, Nala. Really appreciate your channel. It's the only one I've felt worth following. I'm an old gamer with 2 kids. Most I can do now is listen along while changing a nappy, but it brings so many good memories. These characters are like old friends. Lone, thank you for saying that. I'm really glad you're here, friend. Glad you're enjoying it.
I bumped into Zaid recently. Quite the character. Given how much violence and destruction that man's seen, he's surprisingly well adjusted. Still, I wouldn't want to be alone with them. Anyway.
Yeah, because you ain't into humans. It's very obvious. It's fine.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Whatever. Okay. All right, let's go talk to Joker. Zaid doesn't have a lot of dialogue options, Munchie, because of being, I think, because of being
Hey,
DLC.
Commander. Glad we figured out Jack is crazy, because that was really up in the air, just hanging there.
No, that ain't it, Joker. That ain't it, buddy.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Nope. Jokes are funny until you joke about something like that. And a little too icky. She ain't crazy. She is completely understandable why she is the way she is.